Hello, greetings and salutations. My name is Steven, and I'm your host for July 17th, 2013. Joining me today is also my digital avatar, Vizon. Say hi, Vizon.
Hello.
Before we begin, you need to understand an important part about me. I love role-playing games. Some of my best gaming experiences have come from games where you can be who you want to be. These include the Fallout series, the Elder Scrolls series, and Dungeons & Dragons in general, because I played a lot of that. In these games, you're allowed to make any kind of character you want, really. Like, obviously, within their universe and everything like that. But you get to make your own backstory for them, because they don't really supply it to you. You just kind of are given this setup for your character to explore in, and that's about it. You can pretty much play however you want to play. You can be the character you want to be, which is great. So I'm going to tell you some experiences I've had where those have turned out awesome. First we'll start off with is Fallout New Vegas. In Fallout New Vegas, I played a Time Lord. That wasn't an option in the game, but I played as a Time Lord. And how I would do this would be that in the game, you could access what was called the console, and the console was basically this like thing you could type into, and you can put in commands and mess with the game. So you could spawn things, you can give yourself things, you can also bring up the character creator again, so you can change how you look, which is what I used for this. So what I would do is whenever I was in a scenario that seemed like a major plot point, I would pretend I got injured horribly, because you do a lot of fighting in that game. So I would pretend I got injured horribly, and as you know, when Time Lords are basically about to die, they change. Or as you'll know if you watch Doctor Who anyway. Basically, when they die, or they're about to die, their body regenerates, and they change into like a completely new person. And this was awesome for me, because I got to basically play a completely different character each time while still going through the same story. But even though I was opening up the console and just, typing away, even though that was what I was doing, what I saw was this. And that just made it so fun to me. And it became even better too when, because I had like 6 generations total. And when I got to the one DLC in the game, they refer to your character as the courier. And specifically, you were a courier number 6. And I was on my 6th generation when that came up in the game, so I was like... And then there's also my character in Skyrim, Draymore, who I made thinking I wouldn't really use him, because he's a mage, and I normally don't play mages, but I decided to use him, and I ended up loving that guy, because unlike every other character I had before him, I actually lived as him. Like, I made him walk around town to relax, I made him eat food, I made him drink, I gave him moral implications, moral choices, things like that. So, like, I had a time where he turned into a bad guy because he got corrupted by power. I still play him today. And to give you an idea, I've logged about 200 hours in that game. Probably the most noteworthy experience I've had would be in Dungeons & Dragons. If you don't know anything about Dungeons & Dragons, you have a Dungeon Master and players. The players, obviously are the players. They live in the world and they interact in it and all that. But the DM, the Dungeon Master, is basically the referee for the game. He or she will pretty much control the game world. And you can do anything you want in the game. If you want to walk into town and throw poop at people, you can. Dungeons & Dragons gives you like the biggest open experience of it, and recently I found this out when I played an adventure with my friends. We played one called Owlbear Run, which basically was an adventure where you had to take this creature called an owlbear, and you had to move it. You had to take it from one side to the other, and if the players were successful in doing so, they got like a large sum of gold. And I was the Dungeon Master for that. I made this character called the Money Bunny, and he was this is nowhere in the canon of the game, by the way. He was a graduate from mascot school, and he was broke because apparently bunny and rabbit studies do not make for profitable education. So he could never get a job, and he ended up becoming the most important character in their story, even though he was this big fat dude in a bunny suit. And that's something that really I think about, is that if you're able to make up your own world, and you're able to make the world of the game your own, that tends to be the most fun. I would like to know if anyone else has had any experiences like this, where they've really role-played or really brought their own creative vibe into the games they play, or to anything they do, really. Leave those in the comments, or reply with a vlog, and tell me about your stories. I hope you have a great day. This is Steven, getting out.